about time to do a coolant flush in the BMW, so I'm going to try to do this without having to jack the car up. I have a 335i convertible M Sport edition, so it's got a different front bumper, and I think the mounting for the intercooler is slightly different. The bottom line is it's really difficult to get to the radiator drain plug. So I'm going to try to flush this or remove the old fluid so I can fill it with new fluid without having to jack the car up, take off the intercooler, get to the drain port, drain it out, and do all that, because I don't want to have to do that. So let me figure this out and I'll let you know how I do it. Alright, the first thing I'm doing is I'm draining the reservoir. So I've just created some suction here and I'm draining out whatever I can get through the reservoir and the pipes that are above the reservoir out through this tube. It's just the smallest tube I have. I think it's 1/4 on the diameter, 1/4 inch, and I just shoved it down this hole here, this vent tube, as far as I can get it. Okay, this is how much I've gotten out of just that reservoir. It's about a couple liters, maybe 1.5 liters. Okay, the next part I'm pulling the liquid from, or the antifreeze from, is this connection right here at the top. It's easy to get to, and I can shove that 1/4 inch clear hose that I have down inside the radiator right here. And so to take this off, it's just a metal clip right here. You pull up on that and then you pry this connection away from the radiator here. It also helps to take off this top small line, and that comes from right here. I just have this vacuum pump right here that's meant for bleeding brakes, but it was able to pull a suction and start the flow of water, and then I'm letting it drain into that same tub I had. So I was able to get a total of 4.25 quarts out of the system just doing that. So I never had to jack up my car and mess with any of the hoses down below or the taking off the intercooler. My car is a N55 motor 335i, and so the intercooler actually sits underneath, part of the intercooler sits underneath the drain of the radiator, so you can't drain it out the normal way. The way you could do it is find the bottom hose and disconnect it down from underneath, but again, that requires jacking up the car, taking off the bottom pan, and releasing the band clamp on the bottom hose. I think it's over on that side, and it's connected to the electric water pump. So you could remove that and then get a little bit more out. But from what I've read or heard on YouTube, other videos from other guys, it's you're only going to get another 1.5 quart or so by doing it that way. So I've got most of what you can get, other than of course draining the block. If you drain the block, you can get all the coolant out, but I wasn't about to do that. So I got, other than about 1 quart to 1.5 quart, I've gotten most of what I could get out doing it this way. So I'm going to reconnect all these hoses, and that's very simple. This one just slips back on right here. Make sure you push it in and it seats all the way like that. Then you press down on that little metal clip, and then here you can feed this tube back on here. It will be a tight fit if this band clamp is still on. You can cut that band clamp and put a new one on, but I'm going to try to make this work just by pressing it hard and getting it back on there. Alright, by using two hands I was able to get this top hose, which goes I think over to the expansion tank. back down on there and make sure mine snapped in place because this clamp is on here and there's a barb at the end of this the inner tube, so it should slip on and be a pretty firm connection. Okay, I mixed up a gallon of this 50-50 mix BMW coolant and distilled water, and so now I'm gonna just fill up the reservoir with the mixture and then I'll bleed it. Alright, so I filled up the reservoir so that it's just barely over the max. I'm gonna bleed it now so that it should drop a little bit, and that'll be no problem. Okay, to bleed the system, you can turn your vehicle on without starting the engine. What I'm going to do is just press and hold the gas pedal for 10 seconds. And then the water pump, the electric water pump will turn on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can hear it going. You might not be able to hear it on there. What I'm going to do is turn on the fan here and turn it max hot and turn it on. It doesn't really matter what the fan is on. And I will show you how the system cycles. Okay, don't leave that bleed open. Okay, so now you can hear, I'll try to shut up for a second. Once you can hear and see the electric water pump cycling. And so that'll cycle and then that moves all the air out of the system. Make sure you don't have this drain or this bleed screw open when this is pumping through, because it will spurt everywhere. So I got a little bit of fluid on before I closed it up all the way. Alright, so now you can see that it has drained out some of that fluid. It moved it through the system, and so now I need to refill it a little bit.
What is making that noise?
Search and Rescue Task Force
That's the water pump.
needed to be present to assist there.
Okay, so I've refilled the system, and now I can, it's right up at the max, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Alright, that's it. Now I'll just put the cap on. Make sure you click it. Goes till it stops. And the arrows are lined up right here. Okay, that's it. That's how you do a partial flush of the BMW N55 motor on a 335. This is a convertible E93. And I'm not going to show how you find the drain plug or trying to drain out the complete system. So this is just a partial flush, and it'll get some new fluid in the system and then mix with the old fluid and kind of make sure it's in good order. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.